Disrespect rarely announces itself. It starts quietly, a smirk, a tone, a subtle remark. Most people ignore it at first, thinking it will fade. But Machiavelli taught the opposite. Respect is not earned, it's enforced. Disrespect isn't just an attack on your dignity. It's a test of power. Every time you let it slide, you signal that you aren't worth fearing. Years of studying power dynamics have shown me one thing. Those who get walked over aren't necessarily weak. They simply don't understand the game. They equate niceness with tolerance, turning the other cheek with the hope of being seen as noble. But in a competitive world where everyone vies for attention, respect, and resources, excessive kindness can mark you as prey. It signals to predators that you won't fight back. This video dives into the most effective way to respond to disrespect. Not by losing your temper, but through calculated dominance. We'll explore 5 psychological tactics that change how people treat you. These strategies aren't theoretical, they work in the real world. By the end, you'll see why silence can be more powerful than words, why consistent behavior builds fear, and why the most quietly powerful people need nothing from anyone. You'll learn to read disrespect as insight into others' character and leverage it to your advantage. This isn't about becoming cruel, it's about commanding natural respect. You won't have to demand it, it will come from your presence alone. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Disrespect sharpens my awareness. Before we start, consider this. How often have you replayed a disrespectful encounter, thinking of what you should have said? How often have you felt the frustration of being treated poorly without knowing how to respond? That ends today. You'll learn the hidden rules of a game most people don't even recognize, the subtle nature of disrespect. Many believe disrespect is obvious, a punch in the face. But real disrespect is sneaky. It arrives disguised as jokes, teasing, or minor slights. It's the co-worker who interrupts, the friend who makes cutting remarks and laughs them off, or the family member who dismisses your opinions. Here's how it unfolds. First, a small test. A joke about your appearance or abilities. They watch your reaction, laugh or ignore it, and they've learned you're safe to attack. Next, the slights grow more personal. Dismissive body language emerges, interruptions increase, and exclusion begins. Each step seems minor, but combined, they form a pattern of systematic disrespect. Tolerating this behavior trains them to see you as someone who accepts poor treatment. You become their emotional outlet. I've seen this pattern ruin careers, relationships, and self-esteem. Good people, relying on kindness, often find themselves surrounded by manipulators and bullies. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. He knew people are constantly testing for vulnerabilities, and he wrote about power in practical terms. Here's the truth many can't handle. Silence at the wrong moment signals approval. Saying nothing doesn't show maturity, it shows complicity. Laughing along doesn't make you a good sport. It gives permission for more disrespect. Allowing a single slight teaches that your boundaries are optional and that you won't defend your dignity. This is why some command respect effortlessly, while others are constantly stepped on. It's not about luck or charisma. It's about understanding human psychology and responding strategically. Powerful people treat every interaction as a negotiation. Every conversation and relationship carries subtle power dynamics, reinforced through small moments where respect is either granted or denied. Most people play checkers. They react emotionally. The powerful play chess. They anticipate moves, building patterns that serve long-term interest. Today, you'll learn to play chess on silence as a strategy. Your first tool isn't words, it's silence, but not weak silence, which comes from fear or confusion. Weak silence signals vulnerability. Strategic silence is deliberate. You withhold a response as a calculated decision, evaluating if the person deserves your energy. For example, someone makes a disrespectful comment. Instead of defending yourself, you pause, maintain eye contact, and let the silence grow. They become uncomfortable, questioning if they crossed a line. Most people fear silence and try to fill it with words. But if you remain composed, you control the situation. Strategic silence instills fear, not physical, but the fear of unpredictability. They can't read you, can't anticipate your response, and that makes you dangerous. Consider a group setting where someone jokes at your expense. Normally, you might laugh or retort. Instead, you remain neutral. The room grows quiet. The joke loses its impact. You've disrupted the expected pattern, reflected their behavior, and maintained control. Silence is not absence, it's power. But it must come from strength. You withhold your response because you choose when and to whom it matters. Affirmation, my silence speaks volumes. Start practicing in small situations. Let others feel the weight of their words. 2. Relentless consistency. Many destroy their own power by being inconsistent. Setting a boundary once isn't enough. Humans seek the path of least resistance. Any weakness in your boundaries will be exploited. Your response to disrespect must be consistent, cold, calculated, and unwavering. Those who command respect are consistent. They don't allow some offenses and ignore others. They enforce their standards every time. In contrast, inconsistent people are tested repeatedly because reactions vary. Machiavelli noted that repetition builds power. Every time you enforce boundaries, your reputation strengthens. Every exception weakens it. For instance, if someone interrupts in a meeting, you respond the same way every time, never ignoring it, never overreacting. Jokes at your expense always receive a neutral response. Emotional dumping is met with a calm, firm boundary. Consistency applies to all actions. Even minor slights, eye rolls, dismissive tones, and contemptuous gestures are addressed with the same measured response. Consistency isn't harsh, it's clarity. People adjust their behavior, knowing your boundaries never bend. Affirmation, my standards never bend. Start with one repeated behavior, enforce it consistently, and watch how quickly people respect your limits. 3. Clear and effective response. Truly powerful individuals respond disproportionately. Ordinary reactions are forgettable. Matching a cutting remark with one of your own is predictable. A calculated, measured response leaves a lasting impression. For example, a public joke at your expense can be met with complete seriousness. That wasn't funny, followed by moving on or excusing yourself. A consistently late friend can be excluded from plans with a clear explanation when asked. Your response should create discomfort longer than the original offense, ensuring people remember the consequences. This approach works because it violates expectations. They anticipate compliance or reactive anger. Instead, you offer measured distance, ice, or emotional withdrawal. Ordinary reactions, either submissive or explosive, fail to leave an impact. The explosive reaction makes you seem unstable and harms your reputation. The cold, measured, disproportionate response, however, leaves a lasting impression and makes others think twice before testing you again. Consider what disproportionate consequences might look like in practice. Someone talks over you in a group. Instead of competing for attention, you withdraw politely but remain engaged on your terms. They learn their behavior costs them your participation. Someone dismisses your goals or achievements. Instead of defending yourself, you stop sharing personal information. They no longer have access to your inner world because they've shown they can't be trusted. A family member constantly criticizes your choices. Instead of arguing, you limit your time with them, becoming politely unavailable without fanfare. The key is that the consequence outweighs the slight. This ensures your actions are memorable and signals that crossing boundaries carries a real cost. Remember, The goal is respect, not approval. Those who respect you value your standards. Those who resent them were likely exploiting your previous leniency. Affirmation. My responses send a clear message. Reflect on past instances where a disproportionate response could have changed the outcome, and start applying this approach in new situations. 4. Crafting the dark image. Most people overlook the importance of perception. Your presence matters more than your words. How others perceive you before you speak influences how they treat you. The goal is to cultivate an aura of someone not to be tested, not through aggression, but controlled intensity and quiet authority. This image is built over time through consistent signals. The way you carry yourself, speak deliberately, handle conflict, and respond to praise or criticism with composure. When you shut down disrespect with precision, people mentally mark you as untouchable. Those who command natural respect do not announce their standards, they project them. They don't need to threaten consequences. Everyone already understands that there are costs for crossing them. This isn't about overt intimidation, it's about demonstrating competence, self-worth, and consistent boundaries. Machiavelli observed, everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. What you want to appear to be is untouchable. Practical ways to cultivate this image. Be selective with your attention, warmth, and energy. Respond to public disrespect calmly, swiftly, and decisively. Avoid over-explaining decisions or justifying boundaries. Enforce standards consistently. Every exception weakens the image. Maintain steady energy, neither overly excited nor withdrawn. The most powerful individuals are often quiet. Their presence alone commands respect. This aura protects you from difficult people, attracts quality individuals, and opens opportunities because you are recognized as someone reliable and competent. Affirmation. My presence commands respect. Observe how you present yourself. Are you consistent? Do people respect your boundaries or test them? This will reveal the image you project and what needs adjustment. 5. Hire Machiavellian strategy. At an advanced level, you stop taking disrespect personally and start seeing it as intelligence. Each instance of disrespect reveals information about someone's character, insecurities, and true intentions. Instead of reacting emotionally, collect this data strategically. Who disrespects you when you succeed? Envy. Who disrespects you privately but is polite publicly? Manipulation. Who challenges your boundaries? They benefited from your previous leniency. Who resents your newfound assertiveness? They preferred your compliance. Machiavelli said, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. But first, you need to identify who your enemies actually are. Observing subtle signs of disrespect reveals who is trustworthy, who to limit exposure to, and who to monitor carefully. Practical examples. A coworker interrupts you, but never the boss. They see you as lower status. Avoid collaboration on critical projects. A friend makes cutting jokes about you but not others. They reveal insecurity or resentment. Limit sharing personal victories with them. A family member criticizes you while praising others for similar choices. They demonstrate bias or jealousy. Treat their advice cautiously. Someone shows respect only when you hold power. They respect status, not character, and cannot be relied upon in adversity. Viewing disrespect as intelligence removes emotional reaction. It allows you to predict behavior, protect yourself, and strategically invest your time and energy. Patterns of minor disrespect reveal larger tendencies. Small violations predict bigger ones. The psychology behind disrespect. Disrespect is usually about the person giving it, not you. It stems from insecurity, desire for dominance, fear, or habit. Most aggressors are uncomfortable when targeted with strategic, calculated responses because they rely on picking weak targets. Responding with strategic silence, consistent boundaries, and disproportionate consequences flips the dynamic. Suddenly, they appear petty and aggressive, while you remain composed and in control. These methods aren't about cruelty. They're about working with human psychology. They protect your time, energy, and self-respect, while shaping how others perceive and interact with you. Over time, your reputation grows. People hear of your standards before meeting you. Low-quality individuals self-select out, and high-quality individuals engage more. Maintaining these principles requires patience and consistency. Old acquaintances may test your boundaries. Temptations will arise to let things slide. Each consistent action strengthens your future self and your reputation. Strategic handling of disrespect creates a person who commands respect naturally, without asking, and sets conditions where proper treatment is inevitable.